Yep. Good evening, everyone. It's a typical day. I'll start out sharpening a few tools. Yesterday we were doing a little demonstration in a craft store that a gift shop. I don't know what they really consider it. We made a bunch of tops, and some tree, a couple mushrooms, generally a bunch of little stuff. So needless to say, we got some tools that need a little attention. Dull tools are dangerous tools, so try and avoid that. Also determined that I'm tired of fighting with my other jig to do the spindle gouge. I like the other jig better in a lot of ways, but the thing has a pretty good sized V notch in it. I haven't quite determined whether I can actually take it apart and change the V back over to flat. So the little 3/8 inch spindle gouge has a tendency to get off of where I want it at. So it can make it a little, can actually make it in a jig that it's sort of cockeyed or not straight. So that doesn't necessarily work to our favor. If I leave my keyboard over here, that way I won't get confused what we're doing. What we're doing tonight is a little bunch of little bowls. We're working on a piece of flat work, I guess you will. That's what I would consider it. The door, it's a big door. So there's a fair amount of offcuts. Some big, most of them are small. Too good a material to throw away or burn. So I just cut a bunch of them up, drill a hole in them, and we could make some nice little itty bitty bowls out of them. They'll be very shallow. Something for the ladies to put on their nightstand or something like that, or dresser or something, so they can put their earrings and jewelry or whatnot in them. Like I say, there's a 2-inch hole drilled in there. So we should be able to run these pretty quick right off the bat. Just flatten off this bottom a bit. Not necessarily overly true and round, of course, because we did them on the just on the bandsaw. We're gonna try it. I got a new set of jaws. They're pretty good size, as you can see. I'll try that. I did one the other day, small one, a little square one. It actually worked out pretty well. As you see, I didn't take the time or trouble to knock away the corner because, like I say, these are very, very small. We'll need to go in a little bit. We do need a little bit of a tendon. Not a very big one. Not very big, not very deep. I'm not going to race off the end and chew up the end. Come back in on it a little bit. See there, quick and easy, down and dirty kind of thing. Switch over to the scraper. Finish up this bottom. Make sure it's a little concaved. Just a simple little decoration for the bottom. Gonna come right around the corner with this as well. Don't jump, shove it in like I did. Not moving very smoothly here tonight. Mm. That probably needs a little touching up. That should work. Ooh, need to get a little wax out for that. Like that noise. Switch the dusk shoot over. Unless you're doing other things.
Should be 2 inch this. So I figured I'm not going to be able to get in there as tight as what I want. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of hand sanding in there in that edge. Should have looked at that and did that first. Same way with that little edge there. Now we can proceed. Soften that little edge up just a little bit. So one down, half a dozen more to go. Should have touched that edge. It's a little on the sharp side, but be all right. Like I said, they're very small, quick and easy, so we'll do a couple of them outside of a couple of them before I flip around to do the inside. Just by virtue of might as well. It's kind of the way I look at them. And try something a shade bit different there. You're gonna go to the scraper to once you get it squared away anyhow. Might as well go right through it right off the bat. Mix it around there. We could just use our parting tool. Going along that, get that started. This is easy. It's sort of a nice gentle curve. Get rid of that razor blade edge that's sticking out here. Would not feel very good to touch. I'm sure we have a little bit of a concave in there. Nice flat area for it to sit in on. Probably me should clean this up just a shade. I'm sure it's a nice sharp crisp corner in there. And that'll be that. Back to our favorite pastime. Should have got in there in that groove first. Once again, we didn't. These are actually probably almost small enough, probably almost just as easy to sand with sheet sandpaper rather than power sand them, but I like to try and make them as quick as I can. How are you this fine evening? A whole bunch of little ones to do. Kind of, sort of production kind of mode in a way. One of these kind of doing some flat work, as in woodworking kind of stuff. So I got a bunch of pieces of basically leftovers. Okay, well, what part of the world do you live in that it's hot? I'm in central Pennsylvania. It was actually a very beautiful day today for us. Anyhow, I think there's one more of this size. Oh, go the right way. Oh, okay. Well, hmm. Well, I guess the heat hasn't quite made it to us yet. Actually, I think I said we're not going to get any real heat this week. Just flatten them out. Kind of lazy way of doing it, scraper. Quick and convenient way, I call it. And even round them. I don't even bother rounding these over. Or rounding, make the outside round, so to speak. Just kind of go right after these. We'll get rid of this out of roundness out here eventually. Always like to get rid of the razor blade edge out there quickly. Way some dummy don't stick their finger on it and bleeding. And it's a little on the deeper side compared to the other ones. Until I get done finish scraping this bottom up, and hopefully it'll shrink it down a little bit. That'll do it. Wonders of doing small ones, you don't have to be super fussy with them. Really most interested in that edge in there, right up against the tenant. Everything else can get power sanded. A little quicker, a little easier. But I do have to sand by hand in up against that tenant, because I shouldn't have to go back after that at all. Of course, keyword is shouldn't, but I think I have my caliper set right. This is actually a new set of jaws, so it's pretty much gripping 3 inches. it's a very, very kind of simple project tonight. I like. That's 3 of them for the outside shape, so we'll go do the inside. Hopefully the mineral oil and crap just dried up on this chuck. I used it the other day. I had just got it. So you have to clean everything up good, and I put it on. I turned a little square bowl with it. I had a heck of a time getting it back off. Obviously, maybe that's not quite the where we had that set. Yeah, it ain't gonna leave no marks. Almost completely closed. Must have been when I went back after with the spindle gouge a little bit. We shall see in a very quick second. Definitely want to touch that edge tonight, where that's sitting at, because that would definitely bite you in a hurry if it decides to come off and roll up your arm. Interesting thought, though. I wonder if I could actually undercut a rim of this size. I think probably not. Or I think we might give it a little try. And remember, it's not very deep. I don't necessarily try and make these real thin either. I don't feel that they need to be. Could probably be thinner than what it is. About a quarter, somewhere thereabouts. And they will sort of be they'll sort of be flat on the bottom, just by the virtue of their size and things of that nature. Won't be a true curve like I would try and get for a normal bowl. Left a pretty good hump there, though. I do have to get rid of that. That should be about bad. Made like a whole lot of sanding kind of night, I guess. Quick and easy, down and dirty kind of thing, I guess. But it's also going to mean I'm going to get done with sanding this stuff. But at least when they're that small, the sanding is very quick and easy as well. Yes, it would be. Almost too pretty of a piece of wood to let her play around. That's my wife. Let her play around and turn this thing black. What makes you think you're going to get this piece? It's a piece of cherry. I don't know about giving you that. I guess I could, but well, then why do you need to center? Okay. Teeny tiny little mark in the center for you. Um, okay. I got it. Center line mark. Center dot mark. It feels like we could have went a whole lot deeper than what I did. Hmm. I was getting concerned that I could get too deep in the middle. I don't know. We're still only about a quarter of an inch in the middle. This feels feels like it could be a little bit more than what it was. And I'm going to get one of these yet that's not going to grab a hold. Yes, boss. I think we might try and see whether that would actually, see whether it'll stick to the 3408. That'd be fun, more fun yet. I hear you. I had a whole bunch of these. These are all offcuts from this door project. I had a whole stack of them. A lot of them are smaller than this one. I guess Father's Day, that nobody wants to, everybody's busy doing things, so might just make it a short night then. How about that? And I left a hump. Daggone it. Johnny doesn't want to talk to you. He says, I don't know that person. I'm not talking to them. Mm-hmm. Never a good thing I missed a spot. Sandpaper's getting dull to go with it, so nothing like doing your work twice. A little bit of disturbed grain right there and there. Should have been able to see that while it was spinning, but for some reason we didn't. Okay, now we're back in business again. Make sure we have no razor blade sharp edges in there. And I guess the boss wants another dot in the center again. That's a bigger dot this time than the last time, but you know. Okay. I know how you are. Yeah, for now. Yeah, it feels like it's getting dull. Kind of weird, but it also has a bigger bit of a heel on it. And Yeah. I thought I left some ripples out there that shouldn't be there. Now there's gonna leave scratches behind. Okay, that's the way you want to cooperate. The big scraper's too big. Get in that corner. I'll go to a smaller one. Kind of looking for a little bit of trouble doing this, because it's rather thin out there. And that was absolutely no help. Right back, so I don't forget to change cameras. I'm just going to go over here. I have another bowl gouge that's ground at 65, if I can find a 65. That will allow me to get around that corner easier. I would definitely rather cut it clean than try and sand it or scrape it. I'll go to 65 degrees and 1/8 of an inch or less of bevel. It's left some bubble, picked up a little grain, and I also have a place where it's a little bit goofy. I successfully moved that line down further, but that's okay. Just making sure that it looks like we're cut clean. Just blend that line into the other one. Somewhere in there. I could also just go a little coarser sandpaper too. Would work. Which is probably where we're going to go to. Yep. That's just wearing sandpaper all in one place. And then you push too hard left on like I was. And it's trying to heat up. It's heating up the glue on the Velcro. I left nasty lines in there now. Oh, well. Now, well, this is becoming a pain in you know what ski. Back up a bit because we missed some along the rim. This is kind of turning into the little bowl from hell here. That's kind of a weird situation, but we should be good now, though. Famous last words, of course. So that should be done. Touch up this rim. Still a couple little scratches in there. See whether this truck's going to come back off easily tonight. No, it's going to pop that loose again. Okay. And go the other way. Obviously don't have that set screw sunk in there as hard as what I think. Pinch the fingers. I don't really have any issues with that. Like I say, it is new. It's usually the other way around that they're so hard to get off. If you needed to take one off. So where are we at? We're at 1 hour. I think I'm gonna keep motoring along and do a couple, at least do the outside of a couple more of these bigger ones. Because they don't take much effort to do. So see whether this is going to be I think that looks quite big for a foot. I think that's more like it. You don't get much quicker than that, though. I don't know. My body's not moving right tonight or something. Um, I do have that. Let me see. The weapon would do the job to get in there, as in the spear point scraper. Okay, yes. Yeah, instead of screwing around sanding each one of them, I think I'll just keep turning them. I can sand that later before I go to flip them around. I'll just make some chips for another half an hour here and call it a day. last one. Oh, knocked the camera crazy. Huh. Ooh, firewood. Firewood it is. I heard something chatter. It's got a big old crack in it. Bet you if we put enough force on it, I bet we could split it in half. Maybe not. But it's firewood. Knew there were some of these pieces that were close to the end of the board, so win some, you lose some. Not the end of the world for sure. I think right there's another one too. I'll screw this one up a little bit because I think it's the same way. I don't see any cracks. Amazingly enough. Interesting. I thought it certainly looked like there was a crack on the top. Get rid of this fuzzy edge up here, just so when I grab a hold of them, I don't stick my fingers. And we're going to call that a wrap for tonight. Anybody have any questions, comments? Now's the time because we're going to call it a day. As always, we'll be back next Sunday evening. Till then, everybody have a fine night.